A feeling of emptiness suddenly pulled at his soul. He would never go hunting with his partner again. The reality of it struck him as he watched his friend leave. He wished he could go too. Oh, Carlos, you ain't a-coming back alive from this one. You and your big ideas, Carlos Hathcock said aloud. Johnny Burke sat on a wooden crate, scrubbing his M14's bolt face with a doubled-up pipe cleaner. Carlos sat on another crate. Between his feet, a topographical map and several photos lay spread on the dirty plywood floor of the sniper platoon's command hooch. How on earth did I ever get myself into this one? Hathcock said with a sigh. You're the best, Sergeant Hathcock. That's why you wear that white feather, isn't it? Burke said, looking up. Hathcock glanced at his partner. Maybe, but I ain't so sure about this one. Come here and look at these recon photos. I tell you, this one's suicide. Burke laid his bolt on a towel and walked across the hooch. Hathcock had drawn an orange line on the plastic film that he had laminated to the face of the map to make it weatherproof. The line represented the path that the patrol, which dropped him off, would take. He was pondering the best route from there to his mission's ultimate destination. There ain't a stitch of cover within 2,000 yards of that place, Hathcock said, pointing to an aerial photo that corresponded to an area on the map around which he had drawn a red circle. I got the tree line for cover up to here. His finger tapped the circle as he spoke. All I'm ever going to get at the guy is one shot. I got to make it count. And once that round goes, all hell's going to break loose, so the odds for a second shot are 0. I can't gamble on connecting at 2,000 yards. It's got to be 800 yards or less. That means I got to cover about 1,500 yards of open ground without being seen. Burke knelt on one knee and shook his head. Sergeant Hathcock, I don't know. Hathcock looked at Burke, an unusual expression of worry crossing his face. I know. He looked back at the map and photos and again leaned his elbows on his knees, clasping his hands together beneath his chin, as if in subconscious prayer. I gotta go worm style across there and hope they don't walk across me. Burke walked back to his crate and sat down. He picked up his rifle's bolt and began scrubbing its face with a fresh pipe cleaner. Sergeant Hathcock, if anybody has the answer, you do. If it can be done, you can do it. But I gotta tell you the honest truth. Going into the NVA's headquarters and blowing away their stud duck takes one hell of a lot more guts than I've got. Too bad you can't tell them to forget it. Nope, Hathcock replied without looking up. Ain't my style. Job's gotta be done. Carlos looked at his watch and softly laid it inside his footlocker with all his other personal items. He would leave everything behind on this stalk. He took his bush hat with his left hand and gently slipped the wispy white feather from its hatband, dropping it between the pages of his Marine Corps issue New Testament. He placed the cigarette pack-sized book in one corner of his footlocker and dropped shut the locker's wooden lid.